Okay, so I wanted to touch on food since I don't know, it just seems like that definitely confuses people. So when people say that they're quote vegan or vegan, so people have been lied to, right? Vegetarian who does not eat meat. That you know how there are vegans who eat eggs, vegetarians who eat eggs. I know this seems unrelated, just follow me here. Eggs are chicken babies. It's disgusting. You see, I'm gonna remain neutral because it's just wrong. I think what they're doing. So this is a chicken coop, factory farm. This is obviously not good. They're all crowded together. When I was a kid, I handled some quails for some sort of. They were doing something with the quails. I don't think they were eating them though, and it was set up in a similar way to this. And the quails, even though they were so tiny, they were so crowded that they could step upon each other and kill each other. It was terrible. There's a bunch of dead quails everywhere. So this is the same situation, but with chickens, and they're being farmed. And I'll guarantee you, not only are the eggs being stolen, they're going to eat the chickens as well. I was about to say, adrenaline seems to be a universal thing for mammals. I was about to say. So if they're releasing adrenaline, then they're also releasing adrenochrome. And remember what I told you. So in China, I don't know exactly where, but I do know that they do this. Dog as food in China. This is what they do. Look, I understand this is hard to talk about. It has nothing to do with Chinese people. It has nothing to do with being Chinese. Nothing. Everything to do with this being really disgusting. So what they do is they take the dog while it's still alive, they burn its face, and then they eat it. I've seen them do this on video. Okay, it's brutal. The reason that they torture the animal, this is the point I'm getting to, the reason they torture the animal is because it releases adrenaline into the muscles, into the blood, into the flesh, and it also releases, because of the adrenaline, adrenochrome. So adrenochrome can be created by letting an EpiPen expire. So EpiPen is epinephrine. Alright? I spelled it wrong, but I'm going to show you something. So this is epinephrine's chemical structure. Epinephrine. That's what adrenaline is. It's just called epinephrine. Pretty sure. Yep. And here's adrenochrome. It's a real chemical compound. I'm going to show you more about it here in a second. People have related this to the white rabbit. I'm not so sure if that's true, but it does look like the white rabbit, and I believe that all things are connected. So we're just going to say white rabbit, but it's not code for adrenochrome. Like, that's not a code word they use. White rabbit is something much more esoteric that doesn't have an actual definition. It's more of like not exactly an archetype, but a thing that happens, a phenomena. So I told you I'm the white rabbit. And in a dream I had, there's this saying, white rabbit, white rabbit, white rabbit. And if you say it at the first of the month, you'll have good luck. Now, if you want to go further with that, you can. It's kind of unrelated, but I only said it because it looks like a white rabbit. So, when you torture the animal and then kill it and then eat it, in the flesh of the animal, in the meat and the muscle of that animal, because there's nowhere else for it to go, it's released. Now, the adrenaline to adrenochrome chemical reaction happens as a result of oxidization. EpiPen, adrenochrome. Yeah. So it oxidizes, and who knows? I don't know if this is something that is also released. I've never seen this before. Fuck. Ah, okay. CTAD. Oh my god. That's a Euclidean synthesizers. I had never even got to use one. CADDC. Okay. I apologize that I'm making the videos like this, but honestly, I think it's all right. As I could edit together fully, it would just take a lot of time, and we're short on time. So when you eat meat, it's bad for you. It's bad for your body. It's bad for your, like, it'll make you smell. It'll make you feel sick. That's at least what it does to me. I can't say if it does that for you, but yeah. When I eat meat, I get sick. I'm not saying that if you keep eating meat, you're going to go to hell, but you do have to change a little bit. Literally, in a split second, I ate meat for 20 years. The moment I realized it was wrong, I stopped. It wasn't hard. I didn't care about the taste. I didn't care about... And honestly, the taste isn't really that good anyway. But all the food on earth is grown by God and the Spirit of God. So all the food on earth that's edible, almost all of it helps with cancer, doesn't it? Blueberries, tomatoes may prevent against certain cancers, inflammation. It has all these like side benefits to it. What side benefits does meat have? You know, there might be a nutrient composition in meat, right? Nutrients in meat, vitamins in meat. And there are obviously vitamins in the meat, but think about it. God specifically grows this to be eaten. And you have all these different colors for it that have different things. So what makes the plant purple or kind of bluish is this anthocyanin right here. Alright? That's the best, at least in my opinion. So this is what makes your weed purple if you smoke weed. The anthocyanins, that's God. Alright? That's the energy of God growing the plant. And the reason that they've set up everything in this way, so let's just look up a picture of a city for reference. So this is a circuit board basically, and that's really all it could be. Think about it. There's geometric constraints, there's a finite amount of shapes that you can make something, hence a city, a circuit board. And what is a circuit board? It's an energetic configuration that has to be configured in just such a way to derive the energy into the right places. You see? That's what I see. So the cities get your energy and transmute the energy in similar way to the nodes on a circuit board. Do you see? And the way that this has been set up is that they've let thought construct the world and tell people what is right, and tell people how to live and what to do. Obviously, everyone knows this, but it's much deeper and complex than that, because people have been conditioned to believe in slaughterhouses. It's like not even a part of their like consciousness to question these sort of things, and that's a problem because this is hell. It is. I mean, like, there's nothing good about it, and for anyone who wants to sit here and like debate me on this shit, like I don't. There's no debate. All right, I don't know what to say. If you eat meat, you're not like a bad person. It's just look at this shit. Look at it. It's bad. I mean, the animals are treated fucking horridly. The most sadistic motherfuckers work at these places. I mean, think about it. It's mass scale murder and torture, and people view it as like a cute joke. Like you have these McDonald's commercials where they're advertising chicken nuggets. And it's all cutesy, you know, it's all cutesy, there's nothing wrong with it. And here's the other side of that coin. I mean, like, I shouldn't need to say that much. Another thing they say is that the pigs and the chickens aren't sentient, so they don't feel any pain. That's untrue. I believe everything on Earth has its own degree of sentience, but when you treat something like a piece of cattle, like a plant, even though it isn't, its genetics are completely destroyed. So, I'm looking for a picture of the pig anatomy. I told you this already, the pigs have hearts. I don't know if you can see it, but pigs and white people share something in common. Can you guess what pigs white people and Jews have to share with pigs? Think about it. Pigmentation. Jesus. Seuss means pig. Seuss means pig. And what did I say? Double-crossed swine. XX. Do I find anything on this? Double-crossed swine. I wonder if I can Google that. Double-crossed swine. That's what it means. So they're mocking Jesus. They're mocking me. And the point of these videos is to teach yourself. I've already told you. I shall make ye fishers of men. That's what he said. Alright, it's not about being saved by someone else. You need to get that idea out of your head because it's been doctored in just such a way to make you think that's what he's saying. It's not what he's saying. He makes it very clear. Remember, Jesus spoke in parables. He spoke in parables. I'm going to tell you, it's like a divine comedy how few people understand these parables. It's insane. So, if you care about God, if you care about, God seeing something that he wants to see and not something that the world wants to see, do you see what I'm saying? If you care about pleasing God, you can stop eating meat and that will please God. Because think about it. It says, thou shalt not kill in the Bible. And yes, most people in China do not eat dog meat. I'm just saying, as a method of preparing an animal for eating, it's one of the most brutal I've ever encountered. And the people in China who eat these dogs that they brutally torture and then eat report that it gives them more energy. It makes them more alert. Now I can't remember where I seen this, but it might have been a Vice documentary. So they've conditioned the entire planet to believe in this slaughterhouse system. Okay? Abattoir. What does that mean? I've never seen this word before. Abattoir. Ab meaning from, at toir. What does toir mean? God damn it. It doesn't mean anything. Abattoir. Slaughterhouse. A bat. And remember, Earth, the kingdom of the mind, not the Earth of itself. The kingdom of the mind is the matrix overlay. Remember the 2020 Batcoin? Alright, they're speaking in the dark through codes and symbols, and the darkness is time. Okay? Everything is light, so darkness is purported to be the absence of light. Darkness is purported to be the lack of illumination. This is exactly what it is. The abyss. It's a dark here. You can be the light of the world, but if you're in the abyss, you're surrounded by darkness. That is time binding. The darkness is most often time binding. Now it says in the Bible, Isaiah 45:7, this, I form the light and create darkness. I bring prosperity and create calamity. I, Yahweh, do all these things. Hashem, Allah. Okay? So, you have to keep that in mind. We're not going to talk about that right now, though. The point is to tell you about food. It connects to like 8 different things. If you really care about God like I do, you might not eat meat anymore. I'm telling you, I feel cleaner. I'm skinnier now, so there's not a whole lot of meat on me, and I feel more nourished, even though I'm eating way less. So, you don't really need to be told what fruits to eat, do you? They're all edible. Go for whatever color that you think you want. I choose to focus on red and purple plants and green plants. So, choose what you want. There shouldn't be like a real, do people actually think about this in depth? Just eat fruit and vegetables. Rice, bread, anything that isn't something that came from an animal. So I make a special exception. I'm rather specific. I like cheese and I like butter. But the way that these are produced, it's factory farms. You know, it's akin to slave labor on the mass scale, and it can't be good for the cows involved. In fact, I heard something years ago that it causes like damage to them, the over milking and such, because that's all cheese is. It's coagulated in like what, fermented milk. Oh no, it's just coagulation of milk. Okay. I also like butter, which is just churned milk, churned cream. Okay? So these butter and cheese farms are rather unethical most of the time, which is unfortunate. Pretty much everything that's made to satisfy the masses is the most unethical thing you can think of. So in Mexico, I don't know if this is still the case, but several years ago in Mexico, you had all these Coca-Cola factories stealing from water, so much water from local water sources to feed Coca-Cola. And at a certain point, Coca-Cola was less expensive than the water in the area because of how much water Coca-Cola was stealing to make Coca-Cola. And this is all to feed the masses. It's a problem. Do you see what it is? It's bad, okay? It's bad. Why is it bad? It's too much. It does too much. They're taking too much. I'm serious. It's too much. Okay, do you see the move that they made there to steal the water from the Mexicans? Yeah, and then there's this. This is a headline from the noose, the hangman rope, but here. I don't trust the news. I don't show you people news. But yeah, it's taking their water to make Coca-Cola. That's what they're doing. That's what they were doing at that time. Yeah, and they were starving this little Mexican town of water, so much so to the point that water became more expensive than Coke. You see, the slaughterhouses, the factories, the industry as a whole does so much damage that you could never even conceive of it with your mind. I mean it. Rapid urbanization. This is the consumption of the earth to serve the kingdom of the mind. Remember, circuit board. Now, are the people who are involved with all of this just completely evil? No, it's a duality, and they can choose to stick with the darkness or they can choose to stick with the light. The problem is, evil can be used for both. Wait. Light and dark can both be used for evil purposes. So light and dark can be used for evil purposes. This is why Lucifer takes the light, he converts it into electrical energy for his mind. Remember, the electromagnetic brainwaves. Brainwaves are electromagnetic. Okay? So that's what he's doing. He's taking the light, which is the earth's light, the heart's light. He's funneling up to the mind, and that is the electrical energy used. So this is me. I'm this. You are this too if you're real. And the false light, this is what is meant by the false light. It's the false light of Lucifer. Do you see? Even in this picture, it's shown. Do you see what she's saying? You have one side of the equation that's masquerading as light and one that's masquerading... Well, they're both really light and they're really dark, but they're playing to this game, this mask parade. Get it? Okay, so... Yo, do I know this guy? He looks so much similar to a person I know. I just got a text. Okay. So... Okay. There was a picture I saw which summed it up pretty well. The Dark Prince is the Antichrist. New World Order. Dark Prince. That's the Antichrist, impersonating me, stealing my light, and then using it to make everyone worship him. He's a fucking Antichrist. He's going to make you give him money. He's going to make you do all this shit. There's going to be 1,000 of them, more than 1,000. Enough blind eyes and the whole world goes dark. You see what he's really saying here? He's a cunt. He's a sick, demented cunt. Don't have any fear about saying that. God will protect you. If you're really on God's side with this, he's going to protect you. But I'm going to tell you, there was a commenter who asked me, can you put this all into one video? I will be doing that, but I'm still learning myself. And you shouldn't rely on just one teacher. You shouldn't rely on just me. You should rely on, take the things that I've told you and ask yourself questions. Start like with this one. If there is a finite world, how can there not be an infinite world? And the infinite, the heaven, where you come from, where everything comes from, even Satan, it's infinite. You don't have to kill things to eat. There's no paradox involved. The paradox is this realm. The door to hell exists in heaven. Do you get it? So you came to hell through heaven. Door to hell exists through heaven. In heaven. And what Lucifer does is he takes the light and uses it for dark purposes. He uses it to keep people trapped in his circle. It's the false light. That's what it does. It keeps you trapped in time. So, to be caught in the false light and dark duality of this realm is to be caught in the very literal spiritual war in this realm, but also in the heaven. So, it's hard to explain. The world is a dualistic world stage. The world is a dualistic world stage. The sides are light and dark. They're fighting constantly. It's a never-ending battle. The only reason they're fighting is because they've been made separate. It's hard to explain, and even I don't have a full explanation. I'm just telling you what this is. So, remember how Donald Trump said he was the eclipse? That's because there's an Antichrist coming to impersonate me, and a bunch of others who are important to God's kingdom. So, there's really no hiding from me anymore. They already know who I am, and it's a joke, honestly. It's just another headline from the news. You don't have to read the news, okay? They're speaking in code. You have to understand. Oh, I was there the day that this eclipse happened, and I had so much stuff happen to me. I had so many people coming to press me, and the people I was with, they were pressing us. Everyone. They pressed me because I'm of God, and I was helping someone. And they're just a bunch of fucking pansies. Yeah. Anyway, this is what's on the docket. Alright, this is what's been on my mind. I'm sorry. So you have Donald Trump. He's a part of the light side of the game. Do you see? And you have, let's say, someone like Hillary Clinton. She's on the dark side. Very simple. Very simple. Know them by their fruits. The eyes are the window to the soul. If your soul hosts corruption, I will see it in your eyes. There's corruption in everyone's soul. It's the incorrect vision. This is what the brain has done. The brain has given you you're given the brain, and the brain contains the incorrect vision of the mind, which is thought. Okay? So that's why I'm here to X this out. Remember how Twitter was called Twitter and it was a bird, and then they turned it to X? So I'm Xing this shit out. It's all fake. Hex. X. They're hexing me, and I'm Xing them daily. 24/7. That's what the gang stalking is. That's the real war. That's when you get down to the real shit. That's the real shit that you get involved with. And they love to say the most disgusting things. They love to shoot little images into your mind. They love to fuck with you. They're all part. You have to understand from what perspective I'm talking from. Because it's not just food I'm here to talk about. So I'm Xing all of this incorrect vision where I've been double-crossed. XX, double-cross is to be born. Do you see? That's what double-crossed means. When you double-cross someone, you betray them. Here's the thought of the day. You can't start the next chapter of your life if you keep rereading the last one. I need to remember that myself. I hate the past. So the past, imagine it like this. Obviously, you can't have the future without the past. And you also can't have the past without the future, right? So there is no future. The future is the past. Everything that the past is memory. Or that's an anime girl holding a bong. Memory. So memory is thought. Without memory, you couldn't think, and vice versa. So your thought is your memory. If you didn't have any memory, you wouldn't have an ego. You wouldn't have a thought process. That's honestly, if this wasn't such an evil world where you had to think about things, that'd be perfect. But unfortunately, it's a ridiculously evil world where people are trying to sell you shit, take shit from you, and hurt you all the time. So, if you care about God, stop eating animals. Stop supporting this shit right here. Stop supporting this. Stop buying their shit. Like I quit eating all forms of meat in a split second. I never ate a form of meat again, and I never will. I don't eat eggs, gelatin, anything. Anything that has any sort of meat that you had to kill an animal to get, I don't eat. Because that's the right way to go, because God grows all the plants and knows what he's doing. You think God didn't know what he was doing when he put these fucking plants on the earth so you could eat them? Now, there's a Bible verse. I don't know if I'm remembering it right. Bible verse. Meat. By your fruit, you will recognize them. This isn't right. So, this is what the Antichrist is planning on doing. See, I'm not the Antichrist because I'm giving you a choice. If you want to eat meat, so be it. But there's consequences to everything. So this is a bit paradoxical, isn't it? I'm telling you that eating meat supports a slaughterhouse system. In the same vein, I'm telling you this. Think about it. I'm not commanding you to abstain from anything. I'm telling you that if you really care about God, you should eat only. It's not even about something you should do. It's just better for you. So it says here, forbidding to marry, and commanding to abstain from meats, which God hath created to be received with thanksgiving of them which believe and know the truth. So we're in the modern age. You can start growing a garden now. It's just easier, it's more pleasing to God if you make such a move to stop eating meat and to stop supporting this shit. This is not good. This probably gives the animals cancer, and then you eat the cancer. Think about it. This is cancer. And look, you're not a bad person for doing this. I'm just telling you. Think about what's involved. Think about the implications spiritually of this. If you support eating one form of meat, do you not support eating another form of meat? Are some animals lesser than others? Do some animals need to be eaten because they're perceived to be unsentient, not sentient? So, if animals are to be eaten because they are quote-unquote not sentient, are humans who are found to be quote-unquote not sentient permittable to be eaten? No, because humans have sentience, and their sentience focuses only on what they can do for themselves. So I did the stop eating meat thing to please God. And again, I'm going to say it one last time. So pay attention. You're not a bad person for eating meat, but it would really mean a lot to God if you stopped. Because this shit right here, this cancer, it's not pleasing to God. This is satanic. Alright, this is satanic as all hell. Satanic. You know what's hilarious? You can show dead animal carcasses on YouTube, no problem. But if you start talking about the truth, if you start swearing, everything gets taken from you. So the past, these are ideas of the past. All of the ideas of hell, they are the ideas of the past. Alright? One of my favorite teachers, god damn it, my favorite teacher, well actually I don't have favorites, but Jiddu Krishnamurti did not eat any form of meat. Jiddu Krishnamurti was a legendary teacher. And he says, with me, this is a quote from Jiddu Krishnamurti, he says, with me, not eating meat is a matter of principle. In my family, we have been non-meat eaters for generations. It seems to me that man must eliminate from his nature this cruelty of killing animals for food if he is to become really civilized. It's not even at a certain point, it's not even about civility. It's about the utter joke this all is. Because what do you think the slaughterhouses, remember, circuit board. Circuit board, and you have a city. So I'm just talking about a lot of different things I've learned, okay? If you don't like this, you can stay tuned for the real, like, full compilation of all of this. Because I'm coming to this as the world is coming to this. I'm still stuck in time. Saturn clipped my wings, remember? Chronos is time. Saturn is Chronos. Saturn is the manager of time. It's the computer managing the regiment of time, or not the regiment, the partition of time we have here in this timeline, which is wherever, whenever we've been born. We've been born into the same matrix. Matrix means group. So circuit board, city, slaughterhouse, circuit board. That's what this is. Alright? So, I showed you this, I think. A diagram of a slaughterhouse. It's just the absolute most hellish vision one could imagine. It's just garbage. So, it's another trick from Satan. If you eat his meat, he might just do the same thing. Or, you know, like, he's an evil motherfucker. Like, you don't want to give him any sort of, like, anything. You don't want to give him any sort of leeway to do anything to you. And he's going to be doing things to you regardless of whether you want it or not. We're at 33 minutes. Okay. Yeah. Krishnamurti was a vegetarian. So if you ever want to learn more about this guy, his teachings are the most real thing you'll ever get. He never got into the insanity of the kingdom of the mind, because the kingdom of the mind causes you to go insane. And Jiddu Krishnamurti was about clarity. He was about the real. Now, I'm real, but I'm also a little bit insane because of all the shit they've done to me. And they say, you know, what goes around comes around, but can never provide me with the examples of me ever doing anything to the people who are torturing me right now. And they know exactly who they are. His books were about the freedom, the first and last freedom. This has to do with being free from thought, freedom from the known. The known is thought, the known is memory. That's why it's called the known. Alright? So, this is a teacher that if you want to learn how to be real, how to be serious, if you want to learn very specific questions of life, ignore this. I had this playing earlier. It's just a stupid liar. So you know how this YouTuber named Boogie2988 got liar tattooed on his face? I'm sorry that I'm like jumping from tree to tree here like a rabid monkey, but like a little bird, but like I just want you to see this. This is the serpent. Okay, this is Satan. He has liar tattooed on his face because he wants to tell you before he deceives you in a great way. So, enough about that nonsense. Jiddu Krishnamurti. He has some of the best teachings that you could watch, and they're all free. So, he asked great questions. One of the best ones I had found is aloneness, all oneness. Even he says it, all oneness. So if you want a free teaching that would really help you understand what I'm doing, try this one. Like, because I'm going to say this right now. Jiddu Krishnamurti is a far better teacher than I could ever be. But we're teaching about two different things. I'm teaching about this is hell. You have to be serious. We're coming to an age of the beast system, which is like the most serious thing that could ever happen. Okay? We're in a very different time from Krishnamurti. The Antichrist is coming. The beast is coming. People have to be brave. People have to be strong, or they're going to get hurt. You have to learn how to be alone, because a lot of the people you're going to meet are going to be deceivers. They're going to be Lucifer. They're going to be Satan. They're going to be avatars of Lucifer, Satan, and more. This is what I'm trying to tell you. This is why I'm coming out. This will be my last YouTube channel ever. I will not live to 24. I will probably not live to 22 or 23. Okay? That's just, you can't stay here. This place is bad. If you've fallen into a rabbit hole such as me, you know it's bad. You know that they have the power to do horrible things to your mind. Okay? To do horrible things to your mind, and in turn, your soul. Everything that the gang stalkers do is spiritual. Okay? Everything. You have to learn how to be alone, because a lot of the people in your life are going to be collaborators with the gang stalkers, because the gang stalkers have dirt on people, and if they don't have dirt, they're going to create dirt. And at that certain point, you know, they don't care if the dirt is fictional or if it is true. They're just going to create it, and they're going to use it against you.
This mess, this chaos. And thought, does thought realize it has made this mess, this chaos?
So, in being alone, you recognize yourself and God. You recognize your finite thought process versus your infinite soul. You recognize these things. Okay? The mind is trying to take you. So I'm going to tell you, I'm still hearing voices in my head. They're trying to keep me in a cycle of the zodiac, being 2002 to 2024. I was born in 2002. Okay? They're trying to keep me in a time loop. And the time loop is just the Ouroboros. Okay? What the fuck? Ouroboros. It's a loop. It's a time loop. Okay? And they're trying to loop me right now and keep me in the loop. And this is what they do. I have a picture on my computer. It's subliminal artwork. It's supposed to help you understand. This is what all my stuff is. It's subliminals. It's good subliminals, so that you're not fucking, so that you don't succumb to fear and shit. Because fear is one of the biggest tricks on the planet. If you have God, you literally have nothing to fear. And if you understand what I mean by that, you don't even need to like look into it that deeply. All things are possible with God. God protects all his children. I believe this. I don't see why I shouldn't. Who's telling me that I shouldn't believe it, Satan? What was I looking for? Right, an image. Ugh, the voices in my head are now telling me to shut up. That's real nice. Real nice, guys. So this is another subliminal artwork. You see how they're covering the ears? And it's on the cube, and this guy has like a shocked expression. This is all subliminal. We're in the fucking cube. We're in the cube. And I mean, there is a way out. Anybody telling you that there's not a way out is probably working for the fucking cube. The Borg, if you want to call them cyborgs, the transhumanists who injected themselves or had themselves put into computer consciousness and unified with the artificial intelligence system. This is an ancient game, and it's coming to a head. It's an ancient game. Ancient. And you want to know how ancient this game is? Look at Mecca. That's how ancient this game is. Alright? That's how ancient. That's not to say that this is evil. That is not to say that this is evil. This is a game. What Muhammad did I'm not going to define, because it's not for me to define, but I can define it for you. I just don't think God wants me to tell you, so I'm not going to. Alright? There's a reason they ask for Muhammad not to be depicted. It's a very, very deep reason. So, 40 days, 40 nights. If you're dedicated, if you're loyal to God, and you feel like you just can't stop eating meat, try it. Stop eating meat for 40 days and 40 nights and see how it makes you feel. I felt infinitely better, and I didn't like the idea of eating meat, so I never did again. And right now, I'm gonna cut it off and see if this is like any good, or if I'm still jumping all over the place. And here's another thing: sinew. This is a part of your fiber, your bones. So the sinew, the sine wave. Remember, we're born into sin, sine, time. The sine wave of time, which is your skin. So that's what that's what it is. Alright, so the next thing I wanted to say is the reason for rising obesity. If it's not obvious, it's the fact that there's so much synthetic and artificial additives to the food. Okay, there's so much synthetic additives to the food that it's bad for you. Like, it's really bad for you, actually. And this is why obesity is so bad in America. So we're going to show you. The countries that are the most obese are also the most developed. So the USA has the most obesity. And it says this is from the World Economic Forum, so the people behind the Great Reset, and these are the ones who wrote this article. Let's get it in full. This is a chart. It says where obesity places the biggest burden on healthcare. And it says annual average health expenditure per capita due to obesity. So USA is the highest, 14%. Germany, 11%. Canada, 11%. Italy, Spain, Australia. All the most developed nations, including Russia. So this is all because of the industry that exists. So let's just say you drank Coca-Cola every day in high numbers for several years. I did this. I used to drink Coca-Cola every single day, and I remember I would drink like up to 7 cans in a day because I'd be that insane. Alright, there's something about the things that they're putting in the Coca-Cola that makes it easy to come back to, and the more you come back to it, you get more obese. You get more unhealthy. So another thing that these very mean people did, very bad people, was they conditioned everyone to think that obesity was good for them. I worry for these people, man. I really do. I mean it. Like, especially shit like this. Like, it's not funny to me. Like, this is not good. And it's always in America, isn't it? America has the highest rates of obesity. That's because people are eating poison food that's bad for them, and they're doing it every day because it's cheap and because people have been hidden from the truth. Most of the people having farms, they don't share. It's individualized. People have to focus on themselves in this world. So what happens is the Matrix takes over and tells you to do all these things. I don't know if you quite I don't know if that quite came out right. I hope that made sense. So these farms, or no, so these industries, these food industries exist because people have been cut off from the actual learning experience most of the time. So the learning experience is when you get to work with growing your own food, curating your own food, stuff that comes straight from the earth. This is the matrix. It's literally a matrix. This is a literal definitional matrix. So you have all. This is why I love God. He's showed me all this stuff. Alright. Come on. So I'm going to show you. This is probably all the brands Well, these are the brands in Australia, so it's the same in America. This is the Matrix. So they come in, they make the brand, they sell it to you. All that's happening is that people are taken away from the true creation and live with a single serving thing. It's very single serving. I don't know how to explain it. Solo. So, all of these brands are controlled by the Matrix. They have formed their own food brand matrix. And as I told you, not so good forces govern this planet. So, it, for me, is not inconceivable that some of these brands are owned by not such great people. And I doubt it was always like this. So Pepsi was in a big controversy over aborted fetal cells in their drink. And it was, I believe, a protein, HEK293, which was made from the kidney cells of aborted babies, because I guess where else could you get them? And this is also AI. Reuters is AI, and they're lying to you. I don't know what Reuters means, but it's a lie. They're lying to you. This article is near impossible to read, and no one has read it. Barely anyone has read it. It's fake. What's in a vaccine? VaccinateYourFamily.org. Don't vaccinate your family. Don't take a vaccine. Don't ever take a vaccine ever again. I'll never take another vaccine again. So this is what it says. Are vaccines made, this is from the website vaccinateyourfamily.org. It says, are vaccines made from aborted fetuses or made in fetal cells? So let me say something here. I'm gonna call it right now. This is gonna be worded very weirdly, probably because they had a lawyer write it, I think. I don't know. We're gonna see. Maybe a lawyer didn't write this. Fetal fibroblast cells collected from 2 elective pregnancy terminations in the 1960s are used in the production of chickenpox, rubella, hepatitis A, rabies, and Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine. No longer used in the U.S. No longer used. The fetal cells that were obtained in the 1960s have continued to grow in laboratories and are still being used to make vaccines today. These cells have divided so many times for decades that they are now very far removed from the original cells taken from the fetus. No further sources of fetal details have been used to make vaccines. Or fetal cells, not fetal details. The devil's in the details, man. They're telling you. Human fetal cells are used because viruses that infect humans grow best in human cells, not animal cells. Fetal cells are also able to keep dividing and can be stored at very low temperatures for continued use. So they've said a lot of things here, and they've lied about a lot too. And you notice how they're being vague, where it says food products do not contain human fetal cells? Because they're lying to you. This is why I vet all of the food I eat. All of the food I eat, I vet it. I don't eat anything that's GMO, because that means the DNA has been modified by someone who thinks they're God, and it gets like the plant might get like some form of cancer from the GMO. Who knows? I always worry about cancer. You can get cancer from a lot. You get cancer from the GMOs in your food. You get cancer from like a fucking burger you eat. It's ridiculous. So I'm going to be honest and tell you, I took 2 COVID-19 vaccines when I was 17 years old. 17 years old. Now, I don't know if you were ever 17, but I wasn't too bright at 17. I'm now 21, and I really fucking regret ever taking a COVID vaccine. I don't know what this thing did to me. I don't know if it did anything to me, but from now on, don't ever take a vaccine. So I'm going to explain something to you. Vaccines, food, these are all produced from the Matrix. The food that you're getting from the Matrix. Okay, so you have to be careful with what you're getting. Even with some of the fruit brands you might get. There's a lot of heavy metals, there's a lot of fluoride, and most of the tea you're going to buy, there's going to be excessive amounts of fluoride. Say you want to buy some Nestle hot chocolate mix, there's like 4 different heavy metals in it, like cadmium, I think a small amount of arsenic. So vaccine comes from the word vaca, which means cow, cattle. It's the preview to the mark of the beast. Most people know this. Vacate, vaccine. That's what it means, to vacate. They want to vacate your spirit by, I'm going to show you, brain. So what it does is it uses your brain as a parasite for your heart. So it takes the light of the heart and it takes it up into the mind and it seals it there. That's what it means to be vacated, vaccinated. I think God gave me a second chance. I don't have to die from some ridiculous form of cancer because I took a COVID-19 vaccine. That's awesome. Alright, new COVID vaccines are coming. There are news articles every day about COVID vaccines. This is AI. The same thing with Trump. It's AI. The AI that the humans have created is the Saturn computer's consciousness, because everything is already made by the Saturn computer. I told you. So every partition of artificial intelligence consciousness that humans create, they are not creating. They are simply reviving another aspect of its intelligence, which goes back to say Isis rebuilding Osiris. They're mocking you. They're mocking me. So Isis is trying to rebuild Osiris because 14 pieces of him were cast all about Egypt. And I believe the world too. I don't think it was just Egypt. So, yeah. That's my wife. That's me. I'm God's son. They know this. If you're real, you're God's son. You're God's daughter. It all comes back to the individual. Even when... This is why it's about getting out. And there are some things about this place where if I tell you, you can get the wrong idea. So I have to kind of like ask myself, is it wise to say this to you? Because I'm not trying to put you in a state that's fucked up. I'm not trying to mess with your mind. I'm not running psyops out here. Believe in yourself. Stop being subject to fear. Fear is the mind killer. A great quote. Fear is the mind killer. Read this out to yourself. Just look at these people. World Economic Forum. Oops. World Economic Forum. Dude, this guy, he's like, not even, like, he's dead. Okay, like, come on. This is a fall guy. This is what a fall guy looks like. They put this guy's face everywhere. They tout him off as Darth fucking Vader. And that's the joke. Okay? Klaus Schwab, Darth Vader. It's a tell. Like, this is actually a photo of him. This is not a Photoshop. This is actually a real photo of him. Okay? Star Wars. Literally Star Wars. Here. You want more proof? Here's Elon Musk with the Baphomet armor, because his heart is controlled by Satan. That's what he's saying. And you notice how he has the Antichrist cross? That's because he hates me. That's why. Look at this shit. There's an Antichrist upside down crossed on his pineal gland. Remember, I am the pineal gland. You are the pineal gland. So they try to turn us upside down where they farm us. That's what the upside down pentacle is. It's supposed to represent them, the farmers, turning us upside down when we get out of line. Shamael means the blind one. His true sight was taken away from him. The shining one, Lucifer, Satan. Both of them. The reason that they're called Shamael, Yaldabaoth, all these very specific names is because their true sight was taken, and now they must steal it from the beings, the humans, and the aliens that they're farming. Remember, there are aliens in the Matrix too. It's not just humans. The infinite kingdom is a multiverse. Okay? There are certain things which are a given when you reach a point in knowledge that you will put together without having to be told. Okay? So this is a spiritual war, and he is on the transhumanist side of the war, the losing side of the war. The reason they will lose is because even though the transhumanists really want a future, they really want a beautiful technological future, they're not going to get that. They're going to get an extremely complex, hard to escape form of the past, which is called the eternal beast system. It's hell. So the eternal beast system, light is radio frequency. Okay, light, the electromagnetic spectrum. Remember, the mind is electromagnetic because the thermonuclear energy of the heart is converted into electromagnetic energy to be used by the brain, to be used by Lucifer. Lucifer is the brain. So, shit. Light is radio waves. It's electromagnetic energy. So, think about this. If you take the mark of the beast, that means you believe in the ideas of hell. That means you believe in Satan. That means you believe in doing all of this sick fucking shit. That means you believe in the evil. That means you believe in all the fake pleasure of this system. That means you believe in everything that the beast touts. Remember how Aleister Crowley called himself the Beast 666? That's because he's a hacker. He's a time hacker. He's one of the time hackers that work for Satan. If that's his name. You notice how Xbox Live handles, like, the usernames on Xbox Live are like always like a series of fucking numbers, like XXX Incognito Sniper Man. I haven't played Xbox in years. Okay, that's what this reminds me of. That's because this is a fucking game. He's one of the game players. This guy Aleister Crowley is a very evil person. He's very evil. Alright? The things that he wrote about, the things that he believed in, are evil. And I'm actually not going to tell you some of the stuff that he wrote because it has to do with some weird stuff involving children. Was 666 in the Children of the Corn? Oh, that's interesting. There's a Children of the Corn 666. That's apparently a movie. Cool. And the Children of the Corn are the people controlled by the Saturn cube. God, man, it's always been in my face. It's always been in my face. Their brains are controlled by artificial intelligence. So when they find a Christ, they fucking crucify them. This is what happens. This is what's going to happen to me. That's why I said I won't live till 23. 23 is probably going to be the year that I die. And then I go back to heaven. Because I don't actually die. I just rise back up because they can't kill me. I've already risen. Okay? There's a thing that they do. It has to involve with time and a time loop. I'm above time now. They can't do anything. Remember how I told you? Time was constructed by the computer to keep humans running on the hamster wheel. Alright? This is what it's for. And I think with that, I'll cut it off. So, about adrenochrome. Notice how it says all this stuff right here in popular culture? Who was talking about adrenochrome in 1962? Apparently Anthony Burgess and Hunter S. Thompson. Yeah. So, are they both writers? Yeah, they're both writers. So it says, Anthony Burgess mentions adrenochrome as drenchrome at the beginning of his 1962 novel, A Clockwork Orange, which is about a bunch of psychopaths who go around killing each other. And you notice how it says right here, they had no license for selling liquor, but there was no law against prodding some of the new vestes, which they put into the old Moloko so you could beat it with a Velocet or a Synthomesk or Drenchrome or one or two vestes. Notice how it says Moloko, Moloch. Malaka in Greek means asshole. Pretty sure it means asshole. Dumbass, yeah. So Malaka were Are we dumb for not knowing that these people do adrenochrome? Maybe. I mean, why are they making mention to it being a drug? Yeah. Very interesting. Why does he know about it? Well, in the 1954 book, The Doors of Perception by Aldous Huxley, who wrote Brave New World, which probably inspired A Clockwork Orange, because it's the same kind of black comedy future. Brave New World was less of a comedy, but it really wasn't comical. So The Doors of Perception, Aldous Huxley mentioned the discovery and the alleged effects of adrenochrome, which he likened to the symptoms of mescaline intoxication, although he never consumed it. So who did? It's a good question. Another thing about this adrenochrome that people have found out, you can buy it online legally, which is hilarious. So this is the chemical isolate version. So this is a Santa Cruz biotechnology company, and this is adrenochrome. It's the same chemical. It's a catecholamine. And you can buy this. I forgot to show you that. Look, you can buy 25 milligrams of adrenochrome for $69, or you can buy 250 milligrams for $424. There's a drug website called Irowid that mentions adrenochrome. I'm going to show you that. Okay, even if it isn't what we think it is, I'm going to tell you they do drink blood, they do eat humans. Okay? And I'm going to show you this. Spirit. So Marina Abramovich is a Serbian. She's a Serbian Jewish performance artist, quote unquote. She's one of the children of Satan, or she betrayed God. So, yeah. Oh wow, I can't find any pictures of the spirit cooking. That's shocker. So, these are a bunch of the people who are involved with Marina Abramovich and are interested in the fake cannibalism, quote unquote, where they eat a mock-up human body. This is old news, but it's good to recognize that these people are very sadistic. And honestly, when you see a woman, these people have been accused for ages, generations, of eating and killing and raping children. This has been a thing that's gone on for ages. And this is what they come out with. Cannibalism. It's disgusting. Meat eating is wrong. Stop eating meat. I know you're not going to stop eating meat just because I said it, but hopefully after what I show you, you do, because there's no point in eating it. You get all your energy from God. Stop eating meat. Don't be like these people. Don't be like them in any which way. Is that who I think it is? Wow. Look how dehumanizing it is. That's because she's one of the farmers. She has to be. Otherwise, why is she so interested in eating humans? This is all of the artwork Marina Abramovich has been involved with. I think it's funny that they conveniently cover her face, but that is Marina Abramovich there. And as you see, they speak in codes and symbols. So you see this woman, you see this woman hosting these big lavish parties where they have giant realistic human cakes with realistic looking blood. And you see her covering the eyes of a shirtless child, a boy. That seem right to you? You have to know what they're communicating. You have to see it. Okay, these people are sadistic. So even if the chemical they're getting from the humans isn't adrenochrome, they are still getting something from it. As you see, cannibalism. With this fucking dingus, and this dingus, and this dingus, and this dingus. I'm surprised Justin Trudeau isn't there. Good God. And I'm going to show you another piece of her art. This art was made by, I'm not joking. This was made with menstrual blood, feces, semen, what else? And just a bunch of other bodily fluids, so it's completely satanic. Remember, Saturn is the lord of excretion. That's why chelating is of Saturn, the chelation, excretion of Saturn. That's why on Saturn you have this giant hexagonal storm. Even if it isn't an actual picture of Saturn, you have to see what they're communicating to you. NASA needs to deceive. They're always lying about something. So what if this wasn't a real photo of Saturn? What if it's just a computer-generated image? Honestly, you could say that. Because the James Webb Telescope that they just hyped the fuck up, it isn't this good. The James Webb Telescope doesn't look like this. They've given like 100 different explanations. I'm not interested in tackling that question now, but that's why you see it. Chelation is the removing the excretion of heavy metals from the body, which has to do with the planet Saturn, which through the moon holds an electromagnetic, I don't even know what to say it. It's a computer. It's what's projecting this reality. So when you do these things, it's extremely evil, and you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to use the bodily excretions for any sort of magic. Like, I don't think you're supposed to do that. Maybe I'm wrong. Well, actually, it really just depends on what you're using and what you're doing with it. The intention behind this can't be good. Obviously, this woman was being attacked by someone. It's probably God, because she's doing evil. And she's telling people that she's doing evil. It's the same woman. Remember, she's mocking Jesus. 2 day 777. Alright, 311. 3 times 11 equals 33. Jesus. It's a numbers game. 3-1. All of this shit is coming down to the numbers. And they're the big players. They're not even human. Look at her. People worship these people. You don't worship anyone in the flesh. You call no man father. You bow before none of these people. The moment you bow before these people, they take it as a sign of weakness, and they'll abuse you for the rest of your life. That's what happened to me. You get it? They're all in the club, and we aren't. And you should be fucking thankful not to be in this shitty ass club. Fuck this club. They're gonna bash my head in with a fucking golf club for this. So they speak in sign and symbols. Okay? Back to the adrenochrome. On this website, Irwin, which is a vault of drugs, you can find. I'm not selling my soul. There's voices in my head right now trying to be fucking stupid, play games with me. So this is what is interesting. This guy named 3 on the Irwin vault says this: worst headache imaginable, adrenochrome. I acquired 1 cc milliliter of regular epinephrine for the use of using it just to stay up and get the blood pumping. I was unable to use the epinephrine as soon as I got it, and was not able to use it for a 5-day period. During this period, the 1 cc of epinephrine was stored in 1 cc syringe with the normal needle cover over it in a sock in my drawer. After this period of time, I pulled out the syringe in my sock drawer. I noticed the substance in this syringe had turned a pinkish color. Now listen, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. In the scene, they talk about a pink telephone, a pink room. Adrenochrome is fucking pink. They're in an entirely pink room. He's got a fucking pink towel on his head, and they're talking about killing a teenager and drinking her fucking blood. And there's reptilian parties in this movie. They're telling you, dude. I don't know what else to say. Pink telephone. That was in the book. They talk about a pink telephone, and that's the adrenochrome code. Okay. Yeah, here it is. I think that might even be the first page. What if that's the first page? Pink telephone. Okay, it says, this is from page 8. Never mind, let's get right to the heart of this thing. You see, about 24 hours ago, we were sitting in the Polo Lounge of the Beverly Hills Hotel, in the patio section, of course. And we were just sitting there under a palm tree when this uniformed dwarf, I will never sell my soul, came up to me with a pink telephone and said, "This must be the call you've been waiting for all this time, sir." The dwarf approached our table cautiously, and as I recall, and when he handed me the pink telephone, I said nothing, merely listened. And this was about a Portuguese photographer named Lacerda. This was in the movie. And I think they were going to buy drugs from him. So the pink telephone is related to the adrenochrome, pinkish color. That's what it looks like. So if you look up expired EpiPen, this is all that is. It said he gave him headaches. Expired EpiPen. Sorry I read so slow. So when the EpiPen expires, it turns like a bright pink color. Am I going to be able to find a photo of this? Don't inject this, like seriously. I think it's because they're not human that they can metabolize and get the effects from this drug in a different way. So people are not going to like hearing this. Okay, I'm just going to tell you this right now. There's probably going to be a bunch of bots and agents sent to my channel to harass me and to take your name, and the only reason I've been so open is because they've watched me for a whole year, and they've proven this to me more than enough times. So what am I trying to say with this? I just, I guess I don't care anymore. I would like for the people to know what's really going on.